Hi and welcome to E-ZTutoring. Today we are going to cover how to graph parabolas. Now, parabolas come in a quadratic form. They can come in a vertex form or a standard form. I will cover both. So starting off with the vertex form, we have y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. And I'll just go ahead and write the standard form here. The standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c. So your first and foremost step when graphing a parabola is you need to find the vertex. And the vertex over here is h, comma, k. And the vertex over here in standard form is a little trickier. The vertex is negative b over 2a. And in order to find your y coordinate, all you need to do is take this value and plug it in. So I will say f of negative b over 2a. Alright, so after you find your vertex, then it's pretty easy. Then all you do is plug in one point to the left and one point to the right of your vertex, and after you have 3 points, that is more than enough to start graphing your parabola. So let's say that we have one equation here, y equals x minus 3 squared minus 4. So our very first step is to find the vertex. So the vertex we can just follow from vertex form. We have x minus h. So we have x minus 3. So our h is 3. Now, I know this may be a little bit confusing and it may throw off a couple students because we are choosing the opposite sign. So since it's x minus h, a good thing to remember is you will always choose the opposite sign of what this is. So if it's negative 3, then your h is positive 3. And your k is normal because it's plus k. So our k, we keep the sign, which is negative 4. All right, so we found our vertex, 3, negative 4. So we can go ahead and graph our vertex here at 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 over there. And like I said, all you want to do now is really just plug in a point to the left and plug in a point to the right of your vertex. So our vertex is at 3. So we're going to want to plug in 2 and 4. 2 and 4. So when we plug in a 2, this will give us negative 1. Negative 1 squared is 1. 1 minus 4 is negative 3. And when you plug in 4, it will give you negative 3 as well. A little trick is that it'll give you the same thing. Now I'm going to explain why in just a second. So let's just first go ahead and graph our points. Like I said, we have 3 points now, so we can connect the dots, and that is what our parabola looks like. Now, the reason these 2 points will give you the same thing is because through the vertex, you will get an axis of symmetry. Pretty much everything to the left and everything to the right of this axis is the same on the parabola, and this axis will have an equation x equals 3. A little trick is your axis of symmetry is always going to be equal to the x coordinate of your vertex. Alright, so this one is fully complete. Let's go ahead and do this one now. Let's say that we have an equation of negative 3x squared minus 8x minus 6. So we want to do our vertex, so we do negative b over 2a. So negative b, which means you take the opposite of this sign. So that's negative 8, which is positive 8, over 2a, that's a. Our a is negative 3. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. This simplifies down to negative 4/3. So then what you have to do is you actually have to plug in negative 4/3 into this equation. So we will have y equals negative 3 negative 4/3 squared will give you 16 over 9 minus 8 times x, which is negative 4 over 3 minus 6. So let's see what this gives us. 3 times 16 is 48, negative 48 over 9. Instead, I will write negative 5.3 repeating. I'm just going to do decimals so they're a little bit easier to graph. And then we have negative 8 times negative 4, which is 32 over 3. And that's positive since there's two negatives. So I will write that as plus 10.6 repeating minus 6. All right, so this is going to give us negative 0.6 repeating. So our vertex is going to be, if you want fraction form or decimal form, I will go ahead and do both as decimal forms, so they will be easy to graph. That is our vertex, and we can go ahead and start graphing this. So like I said, first things first is to plot your vertex, negative 1.3 and negative 0.6. It's going to be right around there. And then you just want to plug in some points to the left and right of your vertex. Now, since this is a decimal, it's kind of hard knowing what you're going to choose, so we can choose some easy ones. We can choose 0, for example. If we plug in a 0, we get 0 minus 0 minus 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's going to be the easiest point to plot. And of course, we have our axis of symmetry running straight through the vertex at x equals negative 1.3 repeating. And because of our axis, we know that we are going to have the same exact point somewhere over here. And then you can just connect the dots, and that is what your parabola looks like. All right, so that is how you graph parabolas using two methods, either for standard form or for vertex form. So, hope you guys understood this. For ACT or SAT help, be sure to visit my website, www.E-ZTutoring.com. Thank you guys, and have a good day.